this team has been this way all year. They do dumb things at the wrong time. And, they get the thing that's overlooked in this game is to get a punt blocked.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody works on punt protection more than they do, and they got a punt block. There's too many details that aren't getting handled, and they don't represent what typically is a New England Patriot team. And so, I mean, there's going to have to be a really hard self-evaluation, and it's going to have to start with the head coach because, they can't throw the ball. I mean, let's just put it out there. They cannot throw the football. This whole Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, it's not working. I mean, we're what are we, in week 16?
Yeah, entering week 16.
I mean, like, you want to say Mac Jones sucks, but you watched him last year with Josh McDaniels. He didn't suck, right? So you decide. I mean, they can't throw the ball. Like, they have no passing game. They just run plays. I've been saying this for how long? It's bad, and it's not working. It's just not working, and it's hard. I can remember when Juan Castillo became the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. Mm-hmm. He was over at NFL Films one day, and I was over there. Me and Baldy were watching tape over there. And Juan comes in there, and he's like, I can do it, Mike. I can do it. I can be the line coach. I can be the coordinator. I learned from Jim Johnson, And I'm like, Juan, if you can do that, they should just make you the greatest coach of all time. There's no way you could do it. And I think that's right. I was right. And I think it's the same thing with Patricia. Just because he coaches defense doesn't mean he can call offensive plays or set up an offense. Like, it's kind of a hard – it's not there. And I think what Vance Joseph said was true. He was being honest.
Mac Jones yesterday, 13 of 31, 112 yards passing. That goes along with what you're saying about this Patriots offense not being able to
What
throw
makes
the
it
ball.
worse, Femi? Femi, what makes it freaking worse is the Raiders are not any good on defense on the back end. Like, if you can't throw the ball on the Raiders, who can you throw the ball on? I mean, and they did a great job of protecting, too. I mean, they were able to – I mean, Mac Jones got hit in the third quarter, but they were protecting Mac. I mean, he had time to throw it. They just have no idea on how to set up a game plan, how to attack an offense, how to attack the adjustment, all the things that I learned from there, all the things that I believe in offensive football, from learning it from there, from Walsh, from Belichick, from all the coaches. It doesn't. They just run plays. And they play battleship football. K5, miss. Okay, let's try G3. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. And their offensive line execution is so bad. Like, the biggest problem is the fundamentals and techniques of their offensive line. They don't have any.
Belichick was asked after the game why Mac Jones did not throw the Hail Mary on the final play. He said, quote, couldn't throw it that far. Do you agree with that? Because I think Mac, he's not known for having one of the strongest arms, but it was only about 55-ish yards, maybe 50 yards. It felt that maybe if you wanted to attempt a go at it for the win, that might be the most efficient way to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I just think, to me, if you're going to run it, just kneel the goddamn thing down. Avoid losing. And then, look, if you allow your players to do dumb things because you allow them to do dumb things, it's on you too, right? You're either coaching it or allowing it to happen. And nobody works on situations more. I mean, look, the play to Gronk, they worked on that situation, but they didn't work on the situation with Gronk on the field with Drake, right? You know what I'm saying? And so it's the same thing here. Like, what made anybody think that running that play at the end of the game was going to be a smart decision?
Especially with the limited time that they had and no timeout. So it's not like you were being able to get the ball in the field goal range. It was either score a touchdown or go to OT, and the score was tied.
Why not just kneel it down? I mean, Folk made a 54-yarder earlier in the game, and so when they got the ball, you're like, okay, let's see what we're doing here. And when they got the ball to start the drive, there was 32 seconds left to go. They had 2 timeouts. They're at their own 25. And so they throw a short pass for 8 yards to Jacoby Myers. They use a timeout, which to me, when one of the things that's the tenets of what they believe in 2-minute offense is don't throw for 8 yards and use up time. You got to throw the ball in the middle of the field. You're better off with an incompletion than you are an 8-yard gain. Okay. Which I agree with. Right. So then 2nd and 2, they run it up the middle, and now the clock's running. and they got to call another time. They run it again. They run it again on 3rd and 2 to get the first down, right? Right? They run it again on 3rd and 2 to get the first down. They have to use their last timeout. So now they got the ball 1st and 10 at the New England 45. So they're what are they? Let's say they're 15 yards away, maybe okay, let's say they're 18 yards away. So he's an incomplete pass, right? And then he throws another incomplete pass, and now it's 3rd. We got 3 seconds left to go in the game. Kneel it down. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's second guessing, but kneel it down. I mean, why run it? Where are we going with it? There's 3 seconds, like you said, and I don't know what you thought, but when the play started, I thought, oh shit, he might score. And then the camera never really showed you, but apparently the Raiders had all their defensive players back by the goal line. They were expecting a Hail Mary.
Yeah, I think the Raiders were going to let them get however many yards they wanted because the Raiders knew, all right, whatever, he's going to pick up some yards. We'll just go to overtime. And then inexplicably the lateral start, which I still don't understand how that happens when it's a tie football game, why you would choose the time to lateral. And then even to throw the ball to Mac Jones, even if Mac Jones catches it, what do we think
what's
is
he
going to
do with it?
Yeah, what's he going to do?
What's he going to do with it?
He's the least athletic guy on the field. Where was he going?
I mean, what's he going to do with it? Remember, he ran the bootleg out there on when they were trying to put the game away on 3rd and 10.
Motion.
You know, and Crosby ended up capturing him. I mean, it was like, okay, you know, I mean, like there, you know, I mean, so like, look, I mean, say whatever you want. I think to me, this whole season has been, and I'm going to say this now. I don't think the Patriots are that bad offensively, as bad as they look in terms of their personnel. Remember, I believe this. It's either coaching, scheme, or players, right? There's 3 things. Players, coaches, or scheme. And I think you got to really be self-critical if you're New England and say, we're just not very well coached on offense and our schemes are not very good. I mean, it's just fair because the talent level is a lot better. Like, there's more talent on the Patriots offense than there is on the Raider offense. Now, they don't have Adams, and Waller's obviously a good player, but they've got depth at running back. They've got 2 tight ends. They've got good enough receivers. They may not be Adams, but they've got depth at receiver. Like, for them not to be able to throw the football half effectively, I mean, it's mind blowing. And look, we see it in the league. There's a reason why, you know, Walsh said years ago, very few people can can evaluate the quarterback, and even fewer can coach him. And this experiment is a failed. It just doesn't work. It's not there. It's not getting any better. There's no continuity from week to week to week.
It's a devastating loss for the Patriots and their playoff hopes there. They fall to 7-7. This was one that they kind of needed to have because they
dominated the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, Femi, the Raiders had 2 first downs going into the last drive. It was painful. They couldn't get anything going. They couldn't protect. I mean, Carr was back there, and all they kept doing was just pushing the pocket back, and the Raider offensive line couldn't hold up, especially inside. You know, they're playing the Garza kid at guard. He's typically a center. Then they put the other kid in at left guard when what's his face gets hurt. So now they're back. Their 2 backup guards are playing, and it was bad. You know, I mean, here's the thing: Judon isn't even on the stat sheet, and they were getting pressure on him.
Yeah. Uche's turned into a pretty good player.
Yeah, and so Uche made plays, but to me, all of a sudden, 4th and 10. They give up that 4th and 10. I mean, that was the one. You know, Mac Hollins makes the catch in front of Mac Jones, and the next thing you know, they throw another 6-yarder. Then they throw it down the middle for 20 yards, and then, you know, he throws an incompletion, and then 2nd and 10 with 37 seconds left to go in the game. Did you think it was a touchdown, Femi?
I didn't think so, but I didn't think you could overturn it like you said. I thought it was razor thin close, and I was actually it's funny that you brought up if this game was on NBC, because that's what I was telling myself yesterday. I was like, we needed the NBC zoom in that they have that's like 4K, and they could still zoom in, because I think if they zoomed in on the broadcast yesterday, you wouldn't have the resolution to tell whether he caught it or not, whether the foot was in bounds. But to me, it looked like it was out slightly, but I don't think you could have overturned it because it wasn't 100%.
But how can we be a multi-billion-dollar industry and not have all pylon cameras or down-the-line cameras at every single game? How can't we have that? I'm not sure it hit the tough. I'm not sure it did.
It's a tough.
I'm not sure
it was a
it
tough
did.
break. Yeah, it was a tough break for the Patriots, but they.
I mean, the kid made a great play. The kid made a great catch. He made a great catch, and Carr, who was not very good, made a great throw. I mean, that interception Carr throws to Duger, oh, my God. That changed the game, fam.
Thanks for watching the GM Shuffle with Michael Lombardi. And for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to VSiN Live and the GM Shuffle podcast with Michael Lombardi, presented by DraftKings and VSiN, wherever you get your podcasts.